Yeah, the Timberwolves beat the Mavericks last night.
That's a good one.
It was
Bring gas.
all those games have been pretty good.
Yeah, they have.
Down to the like you don't with those two teams you do not have to watch anything but the fourth quarter.
No, and like there's same thing in all of them. A couple plays here and there, and there was at least 3 or 4 times where I was like, oh, Minnesota has this sewn up, and then 2 seconds later, oh nope, Dallas is gonna pull this out.
How about that chucked 4-point potential 4-point play?
And then Luka goes ahead and misses the free throw.
Dude, that shot was unbelievable.
I know.
It wasn't even a shot. He just threw it.
I thought they were doing away with the jumping into people fouls, by the way, because
they said they were.
That was a little cheesy on that one, but a hell of a shot. And there, they had a couple bad turnovers in there. Dallas did. That game could have gone either way. And Karl-Anthony Towns finally decided to show up, and I'm a little bummed that we're only going to probably get 5 games out of that because that's been a great series. Although, did you see Anthony Edwards pulled another "I'm a CU MFers"?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's his bit.
That's his bit. He told the ball attendants, like the locker room attendants in Denver, "Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna see you MRFers back here for Game 7." I guess Micah Parsons was wearing Anthony Edwards' shoes to the game, and Anthony Edwards was like, "Hey, what size are you?" And he tells him, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry." He goes, "I'll bring you some for Game 6." So he's kind of had that, I like Anthony Edwards doing a little bit of that. Oh, this thing's coming back. We're not dead.
I see y'all for Game 7.
I was going to ask the question. I mean, it's never happened. So a team being down 0-3 in a best of 7 has never come back and won.
No.
And because I see him on, whatever it is, Get Up or whatever. They're like, well, is this the one? There is. I tell you what, if there's a formula for it to happen, this series maybe fits that formula because all the games are close. It feels like Dallas stole a couple of them.
Yeah.
The higher seed shot very poorly, and last night they didn't. So there's always that little thought in the back of your head when a team is down 0-3 and then they give up the fourth game that they win the fourth game, that this is the one time it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You always kind of have that little thought, but then you go, well, it's never happened, so this is probably not going to happen. But in this instance, I don't know, man. I could see it.
Well, if Karl-Anthony Towns, who had been just ass this entire series, and he finally woke up and had a nice game before he fouled out, if Lively can't come back and he's got that strained neck, because he's a difference maker for them. When he's not in the game, that's a big deal for Dallas. If he continues to be out, and if Karl-Anthony Towns just plays a decent game, you would think that Minnesota can extend this thing. But when I look at it, like every one of these games, right? 108, 105, 109, 108. Then we had the 116, 107 that was still close. And then last night was 105, 100, which was as close as you could get in the final 2 or 3 minutes. Just the law of averages tell you that winning, like all these games are going to be close. The chances of winning 3 of those in a row, actually 4 now, because you won the first one. Now to win 4 in a row when the other side does have 2 guys that are very good at closing out games, it's hard to beat anyone 4 times in a row, let alone a team that is very good with closers and is every bit your equal, if not better.
Yeah, I would say that I trust the stars that Dallas has, like Luka and Kyrie. They'll get it done.
Yeah.
But you're right. Lively, if he doesn't come back,
it's a big deal.
And Cat, you were talking about him shooting. His numbers, so in the previous 3 games before last night in that series, he was 15 of 54 from the floor.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's 28%.
Yeah, that's dog arse.
And he was 3 of 22 from 3. That's 14%. This is the guy who once said he is the best shooting big man of all time.
Well, and think about it. As close as these games were, and that's what I said, if he had just played an average series, is there any doubt that this is at least 2-2 and this is a completely different series? I mean, these games are razor thin with your second best player playing like ass.
Yeah, but that, and then last night I think he went 4 or 5, I think, from downtown maybe. Hit a couple big ones late.
Let's see. He was 9 of 13 from the field, 4 or 5 from the three-point line.
So that right there, like you said, I mean, that right there changes everything.
Yes.
So if he is now out of his funk,
Yeah.
maybe a bit.
Something.
But it's going to happen eventually, right?
You would think. But
Because I think the NBA, it used to be the NBA, 1 or 2 seeds. I don't know. You could see who was going to be in the finals. It was pretty predictable. It'd be 3 or 4 teams tops that you'd be like, okay, these teams have what it takes, right?
Mhm.
Now, it's getting deeper.
Sure.
Dallas is the 5 seed.
Yeah.
And they're nasty.
Well, whoever wins this, again, this will be the 6th year in a row. And I think it's the first time since the 70s, the early 70s, that we will have 6 straight different NBA champions.
Yeah, which I think is great for the league.
I do too. Like the dynasty thing.
For all the talk about how it ruins the game, we haven't had that recently.
Yeah.
No. And I think it's good. I enjoy having some new blood. Although it feels, Boston, it's like, Boston's been here. They haven't won one in a while, but I liked Indiana. I could care less about, but I liked that we had Dallas and Minnesota. I've enjoyed this, and I'm not a huge Luka guy. He's really he's an amazing talent, but I'm not the biggest Luka fan. Kyrie's kind of a douche, although he's kind of redeemed himself a little bit. I just think it's nice not to see. I like that LeBron's not here. I like that it's not Kevin Durant. I like that it's not Golden State. So I'm all for this. If this is the new NBA and super teams are dead and we get rises and fallers every year, sign me up. This is a more interesting NBA than when it's the, LeBron in the finals for 9 straight years.
2 questions. Kat once said he's the best shooting big man of all time.
Yeah.
Who do we think is the best shooting big man of all time?
I have a problem with this because the games don't compare to each other.
And what do we qualify as big?
Well,
Kevin Durant's 6'11", and he could stroke it.
Kevin Durant's 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
Kevin
that's a
Durant's,
pretty big man.
Kevin Durant
shoot.
or Dirk is the best shooting big man of
Yeah.
all time, but they're not, they're not 250 pounds.
Not traditional bigs.
But it bothers me, like Karl Anthony Towns can say, I'm the best shooting big, I'm the best shooting 5 or 4 of all time. Cool, dude. Before 10 years ago, no big shot.
There was no incentive to.
No, in today, I would love to see what Akeem Olajuwon could have been in today's game. Because if Akeem had been raised in this era of basketball, you're telling me that Akeem isn't out there dream shaking at the 3-point line, knocking down shots? Kevin Garnett, when he was the big ticket before he just became a defensive specialist, Kevin Garnett in today's NBA would have been a nightmare. Chris Webber would have been a nightmare. Magic Johnson would have been a nightmare. They just didn't shoot. So to say that you're the best shooting big man of all, cool, dude. You're one of the last 10 years when this has become a thing now when everyone shoots. But in 5 to 10 years from now, no one will remember Karl Anthony Towns as someone that was a great shooter, because the next wave of bigs coming through are going to dwarf him, because this is now every big that plays in the game.
So if you just Google best shooting big man of all time, the list shows is basically they're just talking about 3-pointers.
Yes.
So that's the line of demarcation.
And it's only been the last handful of years that the bigs have stepped out and started shooting.
Do you know who
threes.
the highest well, this isn't by percentage, this is by total points. Let me do it by percentage. By field goal percentage, who the and I don't know what height they're saying is the minimum here, but
again, to Buck's point, if we're going off height, it's Kevin Durant. Dirk was what, 6'10"?
from 3?
6'10" or 11.
And Kevin Durant is, they say Durant is 7 or 7'1". He just doesn't want to be labeled as that.
He is not on this list, and I don't know why. Can you give me Kevin Durant's 3-point numbers?
Yeah, I can pull up Kevin Durant.
Field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage, big man, all time. Do you know who's number 1? 52.4%.
52?
Yep.
From the 3-point line?
Yep.
God, did he shoot like 8 of them?
No, he has shot 975 of them.
It's like Brooke Lopez or something.
Isn't that good?
That's absurd.
Any guesses?
I was going to throw my hat at Brooke Lopez.
No.
I don't know. Like it's going to be someone stupid like Mark Gasol.
Lauri Markkanen?
Markkanen is on this list. Where was Markkanen? I just saw him. Yeah, Markkanen's at 45.9%.
Well, again,
so top 20.
Yeah, but there has to be a limited number, because there's no way someone has shot over years 54. No one shoots 54%.
There are only it's 52.4%.
Either way, that's absurd.
There are only 2 big men over 50% from 3.
Okay.
Al Horford 51.3, and
I don't know.
52.4,
Sabonis?
Karl Anthony Towns.
Ah.
You didn't think about him, did ya?
There's no way Karl Anthony Towns is shooting the 3 ball at. No, there's no way.
This is
That's got to be some. Like, are we talking playoffs? There's no way he shoots 54. Like the best shooters in the world
yeah.
shoot in the
That's
high
pr-
30s,
you know
low
what?
40s.
That's here it is. Hold on.
There's
Here
just
it is.
no. There's
Sorry.
just no way.
That's field goal percentage. Number 1 though is still Karl Anthony
Karl
Towns.
Anthony Towns.
41.4.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah, Matt Bonner.
Yeah, for his career, Karl Anthony Towns shoots 39.8% from 3.
Yeah, that's my bad. But he's still number 1 amongst big men.
Yeah,
Unless you count Matt Bonner.
Matt Bonner.
But
Which I
Dirk,
don't.
if you talk overall field goal percentage, or actually if you talk points,
Yeah,
just overall points, it's Dirk.
Dirk. There you go. Durant's, by the way, shooting about a 39% clip for his career from behind the arc.
So he's up there, but
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't include him on this.
Because he's not
He's
considered.
not thought of as a big
not
man.
thought of as a big.
But the top 5 on here are
and I bet you
Dirk.
they're all within the last handful of years.
Brooke Lopez, Rasheed Wallace. We forget about Rasheed
Okay,
Wallace.
There you go.
Antoine Walker, and Nikola Vukovic. Those
Vucevic.
Vucevic, those 5 guys. And then Kevin Love has pretty good numbers as
Yeah.
a big man.
So this is why I roll my eyes a little bit about these numbers, because if you wanted to go back and because Bird was 6'8", 6'9", Magic was 6'9", again Elijah Wan was a guy that was supremely talented. Karl Malone was a devastating mid-range jumper guy. In this era, he would have been stepping out shooting threes. Chris Webber, again, like all these guys, they just weren't asked to do it. This was not the game. So when I remember when Dirk came into the league, it was the idea of like it. And by the way, Sheed was ahead of his time. LaMarcus was like this. We used to kill those guys for not playing with why are you playing out at the 3-point line? Why are you playing 20 feet away from the basket? Get your ass under the rim. They got killed for that. And in today's game, that's just what it is. So no offense to
I still hate it.
No offense to Bonner, or who was the else were you saying in there?
Well, you had Brooke Lopez and Antoine Walker and
Dude,
Rasheed.
Karl Anthony Towns cannot hold Hakeem Olajuwon or Kevin Garnett's jock. So I'm sorry great. You can step out and shoot the 3. You were one of the first people to do it. Karl Anthony Towns is not an all-time great. He just isn't.
3-point percentage. I was thinking about Anthony Davis. You know what Davis shoots for his career from 3?
What's
Not
he
great.
shoot?
Not great. Bill, 29.7%.
What's the Joker out there launching him at? He'll step back and knock him down. He doesn't shoot that many of them, I don't think, but he can knock him down.
Let's take a look.
You know, and I'm interested. The Al Horford one too. Al Horford. It's another one where I'm like, really?
Looks like Joker 35% for
Okay.
his career.
So I mean, he shoots the ball low. You know, that's
Basically, if you can
35's
shoot it over 33%, it's worth it.
Yeah. Right. Is that what they're saying?
Well,
The extra
essentially,
point.
because if you can expect a guy to go 50% from 2, you need to go a third from 3.
Yeah, which is why it's all 3 or nothing now.
Yeah.
But I still hate seeing guys that big shoot those shots.
It's just
It's crazy to me.
See, and I hate when this generation rags on the old guys for not shooting the 3 ball, and you're like, well,
It just wasn't a part of the
then
game.
rag on the entire NBA. Like people are like, Magic couldn't shoot. Magic wasn't asked to shoot. That was not what Magic Johnson could do anything. Magic has become criminally underrated because like it's just like we look at Magic and we're like, well, today's guards would smoke Magic. Well, no, because Magic would evolve to that. Magic was 6'9" and could run. You really think Magic Johnson would struggle to play in today's game, or do you think maybe Magic?
He'd be a magician again.
You think maybe Magic would spend some of his formative years shooting the 3 ball, and that would get a little bit better? I mean, it's just we love to do that. So I don't like when either side, because some of the old heads would be like, today's players are a bunch of pansies. They could never play in our game. Well, they don't have to, because we now don't allow anyone to hand check. We don't allow anyone to get rough with them.
Well, and think
So
about how
they've
many-
never had a chance to be tough. But the flip side of it is that the young guys today criticize the way the game was played. you couldn't be like that because someone would take your head off.
And a lot of these bruisers have had to add that to their game. Brook Lopez was a plodding guy who just took up the paint, and now he's a threat out there. So a lot of guys have added it as it's become important.